Hello everyone and welcome back to Cute Crochet. My name is Sri and in today's video I am going to show you how to crochet a moon. Now you can either use it as an applique or you can stuff it up and make it into an amigurumi. In this video I am going to show you how to do both. So let's get started. I am going to use this pale yellow color of yarn and with it I am going to use a 3.5mm crochet hook. Start by making a magic circle. To do that, wrap your yarn up and over your finger like so, forming a cross in the front. Then insert your hook underneath the cross. Take the yarn from the other side and pull through. Then yarn over and pull through the loop on your hook, and that completes your magic circle. Into this magic circle we are going to work 6 single crochets. For that, chain 1 to start. Then we are going to place 1 single crochet into the magic circle. Insert your hook into the magic circle and pull up a loop. You will have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through 2, and that finishes 1 single crochet. Continue to make 5 more single crochets into the magic circle in the same way. Once you have finished making the 6 single crochets, pull on this tail to cinch the circle closed, and that brings you to the end of round 1. This amigurumi is going to be worked in continuous rounds, so we need to mark the last stitch of every round. I am using a paper clip for that here, but you can use literally anything. I have seen people use safety pins, bobby pins, yarn in a different color. Literally anything will work. For round 2, we are going to be increasing in every stitch, so directly place 1 single crochet into that first stitch. Then place 1 more single crochet into that same stitch. So we are placing 2 single crochets into the same stitch, and this is called increase stitch. We are going to increase in every stitch all the way around, making 2 single crochets in each stitch. Here I am at the last stitch, so I am going to remove the stitch marker and again place 2 single crochets into that last stitch. That brings you to the end of round 2. At the end of round 2, you will have 12 single crochet stitches. Don't forget to mark the last stitch of the round. For round 3, we are going to make 1 single crochet into the first stitch. Then make 2 single crochets into the next stitch. Again 1 single crochet into the next stitch and again 2 single crochets into the next stitch. So essentially we are increasing in every alternate stitch. Continue repeating this sequence all the way around and you will be increasing 6 times. Here I am at the last 2 stitches. I am going to place 1 single crochet into the second last stitch, and then I am going to remove the stitch marker and place 2 single crochets into the last stitch. If you are not placing 2 single crochets in the last stitch for this round, you have done something wrong in your counting and you will have to recheck your work. Again, don't forget to mark the last stitch of the round. Round 4 is essentially the same thing as round 3, which is increasing in every alternate stitch. So 1 single crochet into the first stitch and then 2 single crochets into the second stitch. Again 1 single crochet into the third stitch and 2 single crochets into the fourth stitch. The only difference is instead of increasing 6 times, we are going to be increasing 9 times for this round. At the end of round 4, you will have 27 single crochet stitches. Round 5 is again the same thing as rounds 3 and 4. 1 single crochet into the next stitch and then increase in the next stitch all the way around. The only difference is instead of increasing 9 times, we are going to be increasing 13 times in this round. You will notice that we are increasing a lot more than we normally would if we were to make a flat circle. This is because we want a concave shape for our moon. Here I am at the last 2 stitches of the round. Into the second last stitch you should be placing 2 single crochets and then 1 single crochet into the last stitch. At the end of round 5 you will have 40 single crochet stitches. For round 6, we are going to place one single crochet into the first 2 stitches. Then we are going to increase into the third stitch. Again, one single crochet into the next 2 stitches and increase into the next stitch. Continue repeating this sequence all the way around and into the last stitch. Make one last single crochet. At the end of round 6, you will have 53 single crochet stitches. For round 7, place one single crochet into the first 3 stitches. Then 2 single crochets into the 4th stitch. Again, one single crochet into the next 3 stitches and then 2 single crochets into the 4th stitch. Continue repeating like this all the way around. Again, at the end of the round, one last single crochet into the last stitch of the round. At the end of round 7, you will have 66 single crochet stitches. For round 8, one single crochet into the next 4 stitches and then increase into the 5th stitch. You are going to repeat this sequence all the way around. In the end, one last single crochet into the last stitch. At the end of round 8, you will have 79 single crochet stitches. For round 9, place one single crochet into the first 5 stitches and then increase into the 6th stitch and continue repeating this sequence all the way around. One last single crochet at the end of the round. At the end of round 9, you should have 92 single crochet stitches. Just look how your work is scrunched up now, and if you fold it in half, it will form the shape of a moon. The last round, round 10, is the simplest of them all. Simply place one single crochet in each stitch all the way around. At the end of round 10, you will obviously again have 92 stitches. Now that the base of the moon is complete, we are going to embroider on the features. First, I am going to embroider on the eyes using black yarn and a needle. Count 5 rows down from the top, and we are going to start making the eye in between these 2 increased stitches. And we are going to end it in between these 2 increased stitches of the next round, 4 stitches apart. Next, we are going to make 3 downward facing eyelashes to make it look like she is sleeping. If you are making an applique, then embroidering the features only on one side is enough. But if you are going to make an amigurumi, then you have to embroider it on both sides. Place the second die as symmetrically as possible, but if it's a little bit different, then it's not the end of the world. You are not going to be looking at them both at the same times anyways. Finally, we are going to make a knot at the back with the two tails to secure it in place. Make it a loose knot. For the cheeks, I am using some pink yarn. Start by making a magic circle in the same way as before, and into this magic circle place 6 single crochets. After you have made the 6 single crochets, pull on this tail to cinch the circle closed. Then make a slip stitch into that first single crochet to join. For round 2, chain 1 to start. And then we are going to place 2 single crochets in each stitch all the way around, so increasing in every stitch. After increasing in 6 stitches, it might look like you have one more extra stitch remaining, but you don't. It's the fake stitch that was created by the slip stitch earlier. Ignore it and slip stitch into the first single crochet to join. Then you can snip the yarn and pull the yarn through. If you are going to make an amigurumi, you have to make 2 of these, but if you are making an applique, 1 of these is enough. Next I am going to sew on the cheeks. First bring the yarn tail to the back of the round. While sewing, I like to pick up loops from the back of the piece so that the stitches don't show in the front and it looks nice and neat. Once it has been sewn on, bring the yarn tail to the back and leave it hanging there for now. Once you have sewn on the second cheek, you can tie the 2 tails in a loose knot. Here I have sewn on the 2 cheeks as evenly as possible and I have tied a knot at the back. If you are making an applique, you will have to embroider the mouth at this point. I like to embroider it off to one side like this, but since I am turning this one into an amigurumi, I will embroider the mouth here after I have stuffed it. Next I am going to sew along the open edge. For that I am going to use slip stitches. Insert your hook through the first stitch and then through the last stitch. Then yarn over and pull through all the loops on your hook, and that finishes the slip stitch. Again, insert your hook into the next stitch and the stitch directly opposite to it and yarn over and pull through all the loops on your hook. Continue making slip stitches like this until about halfway, and then we are going to stop and start stuffing the piece. If you are making an applique, you don't have to worry about this step and you can finish sewing it all at once. Here I have sewn about halfway. Now I am beginning to stuff it. After you have stuffed half, we are going to sew half of the rest of the way closed. And then we are going to stuff it the rest of the way. Finally, finish sewing it the rest of the way closed. At the end, chain 1 and then fasten off. We are going to have to weave in that tail. I was on the fence for the longest time about whether or not to put on the mount because it was looking pretty cute as it is, but I finally decided to do it. Come in from underneath one of the cheeks and then out through where you want to place the smile. The mouth needs to be visible from both sides, so make it pretty wide. Then I will tack it down in the middle to form the curved smile shape, and then I will bring the yarn back out through the same hole that we came in through. Then tie a knot with the two tails. Don't be like me and use a longer piece of yarn. Then cut the excess yarn and hide the knot into the body. For the bow, start by making a slip knot. Then chain 20. After making the 20 chains, cut the yarn and pull the yarn through. Then we are going to wrap the chain like this to form a bow shape. We are going to sew it down the middle and then wrap the yarn a couple of times around the bow and then make a knot. Finally, we are going to sew the bow onto our moon. Finally, tie a knot with the two tails and then hide the knot into the body. I'm going to cut these two tails pretty short and then I'm going to seal it with some heat. This is only going to work because I'm using acrylic yarn. This will not work for any other type of yarn, so do not try it. And even for acrylic yarn, don't hold it too close to the flame. Just simply hover it a few millimeters above it and you will see it will seal up nicely without getting burned. I'm going to do this off camera. And here is the finished result. The ends are not burnt or discolored at all. I hope you guys like this video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!